Epilogue. Boruto and his teammates looked up at the large screen hanging above the new town intersection. So Sasuke's decision to suspend the concert was the right one. For the people of Konoha, yes. That extremist group was planning to bring their flight to the dome. I have no doubt that innocent people would have been killed if the show had continued. And you were once a member of this group, is that right, Lily? I was. I disagreed with their methods, however, so I left. But I still held a grudge against the Hokage. I was determined to bring his standing down in the public eye. Was that why you became an idol then? Yes, that's exactly right. Himeno Lily was being interviewed. The fact that she had been allowed to do the live broadcast was quite extraordinary. Celebrity or not, she had committed a serious crime. Seriously, it totally sucks. She turned out to be a criminal. I was halfway to being a fan even. I knew Sasuke was a good guy, right, from the start. A hot old guy like that, there's no way he'd be a baddie. Right? I mean, he's super cool and so strong, too. I believe Lily, though. This is all a shinobi conspiracy. As he listened in on the people passing by him in the intersection, Boruto grinned. Everyone had their own ideas about all the recent going-ons. Lily herself had asked for the interview. She'd wanted to stand up in a public forum and tell people what had actually happened to clear away any misunderstandings. The ninja had raised their eyebrows at the request. Who knew what would happen when the person at the center of the commotion stepped into the spotlight again? They would have a real problem on their hands if anyone with as much influence as Lily were to say something extreme or careless on the live broadcast. And they were offended by the very notion of allowing a criminal to appear on TV. After careful deliberation, the council naturally rejected Lily's request. But in a surprise move, the Hokage overturned the decision and gave her permission to go ahead with the interview. Lily seems more relaxed now somehow, Sarada said. She kind of looks relieved, Boruto agreed. Sitting on the sofa, Lily wore jeans and a simple, unbleached shirt, rather than one of her usual frilly ribbon-laden dresses. The hair on her head was her own close-cropped cut, which allowed a full view of the piercings in her ears. The overall effect was a neat cheekness, an entirely different look from the idol Himeno Lily. That plan failed because the ninjas of Konoha interfered. Those same ninjas saved me when I tried to kill myself in a moment of despair. I asked for this interview because I wanted to express my gratitude to them, and because it seems that people have gotten the wrong idea about Sasuke, and I wanted to make it clear what actually happened. There was no mention of the fact that the ringleader behind all of this had come out of the Shigetsu Kyoran. This too was the Hokage's work. He had no intention of rejecting the entire Shigetsu Kyoran community. He wanted to deepen their mutual solidarity for the Shigetsu Kyoran followers to maintain their religion going forward. They would need to leave behind their exclusionary dogma and change to work with the outside world. The Hokage was hoping that Lily would help build that bridge, and her testimony had indeed been crucial in arresting the remainder of the extremist group. I guess the people of the Shigetsu Island have accepted what happened surprisingly smoothly. Mitsuki said, looking up at the large screen, this really was just the work of an out-of-control extremist group. It looks like not everyone in Shigetsu Kyoran hates the land of fire. I hope we can coexist somehow. Guess we just have to leave it to the Hokage and the Mizukage, huh? Sarada said and glanced at her watch. Yikes! If we don't get going, Master Konohamaru will get out before we get there. Dang, we better hurry up, Boruto shot off, and Sarada and Mitsuki chased after him. No longer in need of crutches, Konohamaru stood on his own feet and looked down at the courtyard from his window. Steam rose from the mug in his hand. Black coffee he'd put more effort into brewing properly than usual. He celebrated his own complete recovery with the fragrant aroma of the freshly ground beans and the deep, bitter taste. A gentle breeze came in through the window and to caress his cheeks. And then the whirlwind of his own beloved students blew in to shatter this silence. Peaceful. A peaceful moment. Master Konohamaru, we came to visit, Boruto shouted. You're too late, dummy, Konohamaru sighed. I'm going home today. Brats, noisy as ever. He looked back in exasperation and has set his mug down on the side table. We know, that's why we came. Sarada skipped into the next room, holding up a familiar paper bag and smiling. We wanted you to have some strawberry daifuku. This time for sure. It's to celebrate your release, Mitsuki added, closing the door behind him. The look on Konohamaru's face wavered faintly at the word strawberry daifuku. That's so. Well, you did come all the way here. Stay a while. Hey. They had already sat themselves down and were excitedly opening the box of daifuku, releasing the sweet, tart scent of the cakes into the room. Smiling faintly, Konohamaru watched his happy students distribute the confections. This time he noticed they had only bought one for each of them. To your health, Boruto grabbed the daifuku and stuffed it in his mouth. As Konohamaru was reaching for the last daifuku in the box, there came a knock at the door. Come in, Boruto called. Sasuke entered. Konohamaru snapped to the attention at the appearance of this unexpected visitor. I heard you were being released today, he said. I came to check on you before I set out. Thank you, Konohamaru replied. I'll be back at work tomorrow. Oh? Old man Sasuke, you want a strawberry daifuku? Boruto immediately offered him the last cake, and Konohamaru very nearly screamed, Boruto, that's my daifuku! Nah, I'll pass. Sasuke shook his head. I don't care for sweets, or nado, Sarada added. Oh yeah, too bad. Okay then, I guess I'll eat it. The words had no sooner left his mouth than Boruto was tossing the daifuku into his mouth. Konohamaru groaned. Boruto was already chewing, swallowing. My strawberry daifuku. He only allowed himself to despair for an instant when Uchiha Sasuke comes to visit. It is no time to fixate on daifuku. He quickly pulled himself together. You heading out again? Boruto asked. Sasuke nodded. Sarada said brightly and grabbed the edge of Sasuke's cloak. She was proud of her father and the way he kept the village safe, but her cheerfulness was half-faked. She no longer felt anxious about her father's absences the way she used to as a child. She understood that the protection he offered them was the reason the village of Konoha was at last at peace. Even so, she couldn't help feeling sad about the fact that she couldn't be with her father, even if it was for the sake of his missions. She looked up at his expressionless face with envy. I wish we could talk more when you actually are at home. Your face is always blank. I can't really tell if you're kind or not. Seriously, Dad, what are you thinking about all the time? Dad? Overtaken by a sudden mischievous impulse, Sarada tugged on Sasuke's cloak. You got Mom's lipstick on your mouth. After a brief silence, Sasuke rubbed his lips, which were entirely free of lipstick. Still stony-faced, he seemed to have an inkling of how lipstick could have gotten there. I'm kidding, Mom doesn't even wear lipstick. A trace of grimace appeared on Sasuke's face as he lowered his arm. He was as strong as a demon in battle, and yet a little lie like this tripped him up. Sarada felt a surge of love for her father. My dad's cooler than anyone else, but he's just a little cute, too. So, Dad, you actually really do care about Mom, huh? Sarada. Sasuke squatted down in front of her, looking slightly troubled, and poked her forehead with a finger. We'll talk about that next time. While he was at it, he also wiped away the daifuku filling sticking to the corners of her mouth. She grinned in delight and pressed a hand to her forehead. Ah, Boruto peered into the box of Daifuku and let out an anguished cry. Ah, dang it, we only bought 4 today, so there's none left for Master Konohamaru. Konohamaru slumped as Boruto realized this bit of information too late. It's fine, he waved a hand. Don't worry about it. I've already given up on you kids ever letting me have one. I'll go buy some myself. But Boruto leaped to his feet, practically knocking over the chair. We'll go buy more, he insisted. If we line up now, we can still make it. Whoa, simmer down, I'm fine. It's okay, we haven't had our fill of them yet either, Sarada said, and looked back at Mitsuki. Let's go, Mitsuki. You're gonna have more? These growing children seem to have bottomless pits in the place of stomachs. Konohamaru rolled his eyes as his students trotted out of the hospital room. The 2 grown-ups were suddenly left alone and the room fell silent. Konohamaru sipped at his ice-cold coffee and looked at Sasuke with a weary smile. They're a noisy bunch. Having them as students must have worn you out. No. Sasuke looked over at the door and a rare, gentle smile came across his face. I had a fairly good time trying to pass on my known knowledge to the next generation. Although, I don't know what they thought of the experience. You're too modest, Konohamaru insisted. I'm sure it was the ultimate experience for them. Sasuke's face abruptly softened. Strong like a demon, always cool and collected. The legendary ninja of the village of Konohagakure, Uchiha Sasuke. Konohamaru couldn't help but think, perhaps, just maybe, he was the slightest bit mellower than he used to be. Sasuke, take care on your next mission. Look after them, the other man replied, pulling his cloak around him. He started to walk out of the room and something slammed into him. While he lowered his gaze, he found Boruto standing before him. What, forgot something? Nah, I didn't forget anything. I wanted to say something. Boruto averted his eyes. It seemed that whatever he had to say, it wasn't easy for him to do. This boy was always cutting straight to the heartstrings. What on earth could be hesitating about now? Sasuke raised an eyebrow. Does your stomach hurt? Of course not. It's not that. Boruto took a deep breath and looked up at Sasuke. So, okay, I still haven't learned enough from you, old man Sasuke. When you come back, I want you to be my teacher again. Sasuke widened his eyes, surprised by these unexpected words. He saw the features of his lifelong friend and the small face looking up at him. I'll definitely be back. Of course. I'm totally gonna get strong. I'll be waiting for you. They met each other's eyes and grinned. Sasuke was off to his new mission. Boruto to his days off training. They would take all the things they'd gotten from each other to maintain peace in the village of Konohagakure in their own ways. With that shared devotion, whether they were near or far apart, the time would come when their paths would cross again, no doubt as master and student once more. End of Sasuke's story, Star Pupil.